It is 5 p.m. on Thursday, December 19th, 2024, and I will call this regular town board meeting of the town of La Pointe to order. Take a roll call. Mike Anderson.
Here.
Amy Baxter.
Here.
Susan Brenna.
Here via Zoom.
And Samantha Dobson.
Here.
And Glenn Carlson here. We also have our new town administrator, Max Imholt here, and members of the audience and our public works director and our town clerk. So, public comment. Do we have John?
Tonight, I think you're going to be voting on the ESD contract with General Electric for the solar array. I just want to remind, I'm just wondering, will there be a contract later for somebody to come in to maintain the solar array battery? That will be something extra. That'll have to be on the budget. Tom Chair said he wanted, it's going to be for green energy. I'd like to remind all the mining that goes into make solar panels. Wondering if the town board has contacted Bayfield County because they had a solar array put in with the grant. See how theirs held up during the power outage. And let's remember that Xcel Energy by 2030 will be 80% carbon free. In 2050, they'll be 100% carbon free. That's what they're shooting for. Why not let them put the bill for the green and rather than the town maintaining putting the bill? Because if something goes wrong, the town will have to fix that. Xcel Energy will have to fix everything on their side. So please think about it before you sign. I know you're getting a grant. It's $134,000. That $134,000 will go for something else that the town needs, not wants.
Thank you, John. Any other public comment? Paul?
Purchase order on the used 340-ton truck. I hope you're getting rid of some trucks because more trucks you buy, obviously, is more maintenance, more expense you're going to run into, and how much is enough. Not saying you get by with just one truck, but at the same token, does every person need a truck and a backup truck to that truck?
Thank you, Paul.
Just throwing it out.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. And I will try to get an answer for you, John, on the maintenance of the battery. Okay, moving on. We have administrative reports. Some of these were late for last meeting, but we have them now. Is there any question or comment on the accounting coordinator's report? The fire chief's report? Okay, and as I mentioned, we are very pleased to welcome our new town administrator, Max Imholt. And he started today, so he doesn't have a whole lot to report on yet, other than I'm sure he's been filling out a lot of forms. So welcome, Max. Moving, do we have a unanimous consent to place those reports on file?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Moving on, Public Works, Roadstock and Harbor, we have a request to hire a temporary plow driver, Paul Wilharm, as a non-CDL temporary plow driver effective today and ending June 1st of 2025.
I'll make a motion to hire Paul Wilharm as a non-CDL temporary plow driver effective today, ending 6/1/25. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Is there an amount of hours we usually put on that?
Yeah, I think 200 hours is the max, and it's at $20.50 an hour.
Okay.
That can be part of your motion.
For 200 hours or less at $20 an hour.
I have a question for Pete. Are you hiring any more?
No, it's
Folks?
just,
Okay.
he's just gonna help plow the airport.
Gotcha.
Okay, was there a second? Yeah. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is to approve a vehicle transfer. You probably have an email in your packet from Evan Erickson about the GMC 2500, the 98 GMC, and the 96 Chevy 1500 is going to be swapped really with Miffle and the Harbor Commission. So do we have a motion for the Public Works Department to take the 1998 GMC 2500 that Miffle no longer needs and in return give them the 1996 Chevy 1500?
I'll make a motion that they do the switch between the 1998 GMC 2500 to Miffle or instead of the 1996 Chevy 1500 with the discussion though.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, discussion?
So I'm not understanding this.
So they have that red, Miffle had that red GMC, it was parked in front of the Ferry Line office downtown forever. They
Right.
never use it, they were gonna auction it. And we can use it instead of that 96 1500.
And they can use the 96?
We're just gonna auction that instead of the 98. Coming this spring.
So they're not taking the 96?
No, they don't need it.
Okay, got it.
So that, yeah, that 96 will be put on auction next time we do this spring or it's coming spring or summer.
Got it.
How's our current auction going? Is it
I
is
have
it
done-
online yet?
It's online, yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on the transfer and the auction of the trucks? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries. Next, we have the purchase order for the used 2500. And that was for $37,997. Is there a motion to approve the purchase order?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase order in the amount of $37,997 with discussion.
Okay,
Second.
second discussion?
So Pete, as long as you're here. So up on top, under expenditures, there's nothing circled for yes or no. Is there expenditures? But you have that there's over $51,000 in the budget, but you don't have the yes or no circle. Mine is not circled,
Maybe, I thought I put a check, right?
not on mine. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's not
So
there.
it should read yes.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Any other discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries. Next, planning and zoning, I don't believe we have anything under that. Committee minutes, we do have a stack of committee minutes. Does anyone have any comments or questions on any of the committee minutes?
No.
Moving on, Energy Committee, we do have this contract to consider with Jolma. It does require a 10% down payment upon executing the contract, which would be $27,000. And this is a recommendation, as I think everyone knows, from the Energy Committee, who has spent a long time looking into this. Is there a motion to approve the contract with Jolma Electric?
I will make a motion to approve the contract with Jolma Electric with discussion.
Second.
It's been seconded, discussion?
Are you gonna, before you sign this, because it's just your signature,
Right.
so what John brought up about the maintenance of the batteries,
Mhm.
that's a good question. I'd like to know that. So,
Okay.
or who's responsible for the maintenance of the batteries?
And the call to Bayfield.
Do you want to hold off on approving this contract then?
I don't care. It's just that that's a good, I mean, I want to know too. I mean, is Pete gonna be responsible to
Yeah.
maintain the batteries? I don't,
No, I think that's a good question.
yeah.
Um,
I'll make a motion that we postpone this till our next regular town board meeting, once we get those answers.
for a second,
I'll second that.
moved and seconded to postpone. Any discussion on the motion to postpone? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will put this on the agenda for our next meeting. Next on the agenda, Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, we have a resignation from Jane Vogt to consider. She has been a terrific member of that committee, and we thank her for her service. Is there a motion to accept her resignation?
Make a motion to accept Jane Vogt's resignation for the Affordable Housing Committee. And a big thanks for all the time and work she put in.
Yep. I'll
She really
second
got
that.
me up to speed, so I appreciate her.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We also have an application to serve on the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee from our former town administrator, Michael Kukta.
I have a lot to say on that, if that's okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Glenn, if you weren't finished.
Sure. Well, it'd be good if we could get a motion on the
I'll
table.
make a motion to accept the application for Michael Fuka onto the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee.
Second.
Okay, now discussion. Sue?
So it has been our customary thing that we do not have a married couple on the same committee. That's been like, we haven't had that like on any committee that, at least for the time that I've been on the board, because it almost counts like they both have 2 votes automatically. And so it has been our custom not to have relationships be on the same committees.
Okay, thank you, Sue. And I don't know, is Katie still the chair of that
Yes.
committee? She is,
Mhm.
okay.
I don't think there's nothing against it. I mean, we don't have a policy against a couple being on the same committee.
No,
No.
it's just something that we customarily have not done. It's not like it's a policy or anything. I just thought it was worth bringing up.
Well, I guess I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying not to?
Well,
Sounds like
yeah,
it.
I guess what I'm saying is we will be setting a new precedent with this because we really haven't done that in the past. And it's because if you have 2 people that are partners and married, they probably have kind of the same opinion. So basically they've got 2 votes already, without even going to a meeting. Now, I'm not talking personally about these people at all. I'm just talking about the policies, not policies, the customs and traditions that we normally have discouraged that. That's all. I'm not for or against. I'm just trying to put the customs and things that we have done in the past around people wanting to be on the same committees. And we've suggested that that's not a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll stick to my motion because I think it's important to have people. If we start ruling out people on committees for because they're married or whatever.
We have in the past, Mike. That's my point. All I'm
I think
saying.
that's my question is if there's an example that has been done in recent past, just so that we're not doing this
I don't remember doing this.
miscommunication of back and forth, telling people
I don't remember that, Sue.
2 different things. So
I
we
mean-
could confirm that.
Why don't we postpone this? I think it might be wise to ask the committee, the Affordable Housing Committee.
That's what I would say.
They're comfortable with having 2
Okay.
people from the same household. And
Yeah,
If I
and
can speak
again,
for
I'm not,
myself in the committee, I will say Michael is involved in an aspect of the committee right now that he's been very helpful in a very specific thing that they're trying to work through. So him leaving there'd be a gap in work done, so.
And again, I want to make it clear, I'm not against this at all. I'm just talking about what we've done in the past, that's all.
Well, and he's been doing this without being on the committee.
As the public,
Okay.
yeah, and
I think he'd
And I
be
think
helpful with
there's-
that committee. I think-
yeah, and I guess like there's some curiosity in that role as well, and how he's been serving, because he has been aiding in information regarding the contractors that we would possibly use for building
Mhm.
these homes.
Okay.
And he's brought to the table a builder and has been giving updates since I've been on. So I don't know prior. I only know from the time I've been on, but
Has the committee discussed him being a member?
not openly, no.
Okay. How do the other board members feel about seeing how the Affordable Housing Committee feels about
It-
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
stick to
that's
my
a good,
motion.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm gonna stick to my motion. I think he'd be a good addition to the committee.
We meet in a few weeks, 3 weeks. So that would be the time frame.
Okay, well, I'll move that we defer this until we've had a chance to talk to the committee.
Are we gonna get a hold of them before the 3 weeks? Could we,
Yeah.
so that can we email them and just have it so it can be on the next board meeting so that he can go to that meeting?
Sure.
If,
Yeah,
I can reach out tomorrow.
thank
that's a good idea.
Is there a second to deferring?
a second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on deferring? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'll oppose.
Okay. Motion carries. And thank you, Alex, for following up with the committee. And thank you, Michael, for the work that you have been doing on the committee. It sounds like it's been very valuable. Moving on, Harbor Commission. We have a recommendation to approve the Harbor Commission / NIPL budget for next year. I'd like to propose that the town board members have a little bit more time to review it, unless you're all comfortable with it at this point.
I'd appreciate more time with it,
Okay,
unless there's a deadline that's.
I think if we do it at our next meeting, that'd be fine. Is there a motion to defer the Harbor Commission NIPL budget?
I'll make a motion to defer the 2025 NIFL budget till our next upcoming meeting.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I will point out they do have a balanced budget, so that's a good start. Moving on, Town Hall Administration, we have the budget summary report for November. We're still looking like we're gonna end up the year probably very close to being balanced with frankly, not having had to borrow any money or transfer funds or use the beginning balance. So I think that is actually strikingly good. We have increases in revenue over budget in a number of our categories. So as long as we can, hold things for the next 10 days or so, we should have pretty good results. Is there a motion to accept the budget summary report?
Make a motion to accept the budget summary report.
I'll second it.
Second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the compensation resolution. And I have a number of questions on this. Was that Jamie?
And Jeannie.
Lauren or Jamie?
Together.
Hey,
But I think it was mostly Lauren.
okay, I had thought that we had given cost of living adjustments in the budget to, like the airport manager and the sextons, that don't seem to show up here. We don't have the amount for the town administrator showing, which should be, 90,000. And the MRF supervisor, the 2.5% should be a 65% increase instead of a 63-cent increase, 65-cent increase rather than a 63-cent increase. And Pete, did we get the mechanic pay? Is it 30?
It's really
So I guess with those corrections,
And defer it and I can. Dropped, or just approve it with those corrections.
well, does anyone else have any questions on it? I do also have a question on the Public Works Director, but we can, so I'm not remembering all of this. And the clerical assistant currently should be at 35 an hour. At least until the new town administrator has an opportunity to take a look at that job.
I'll make a motion that we defer this to our next meeting.
Okay, third, second moved and seconded.
You're gonna meet with somebody?
Yeah, I'll meet with Jamie and Laura. Any discussion on deferring? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is elected officials, salary resolution, and for our, yeah, should we defer? Okay. Is there a motion to defer the elected official salaries? There's some errors in that as well.
Make a motion to defer the elected official salaries.
Second.
Seconded, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, moving on, the fee schedule. I only had one suggestion, and that was that on the MRF, instead of going up to the $6 per $13 bag, 13-gallon bag, we keep that at the $5. We are going to be strictly enforcing that $5 charge going forward, which for some people, that's going to represent an increase right there. But
Where are you looking?
page 3.
Down at the bottom.
So you want,
So instead of a $6 for a 13-gallon bag, it'd be the $5.
go back to 5?
I agree with that. Strictly enforced.
I agree.
Okay. So is there a motion to adopt the fee schedule as presented with that one change?
Make a motion to adopt the fee schedule with a $5
And then who's
for
gonna,
13-gallon bag.
second that, who's gonna change it?
I don't know who's in charge of the fees.
Or Jean or Lauren or Jamie. Whatever.
That's always my question is who's responsible to change something, you know?
Well, Alex lets
Easy
them
for
know.
us.
Yeah, she informs whoever needs to be
I'll
informed.
change this one.
Okay, thank you. Do we need a vote still? Yes.
All in favor, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is our annual library tax levy exemption. And we just need a motion to
Make a
approve.
motion to approve resolution 2024-1219C.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is our contract for propane with Midland Services at the, they were the only bidder at $2.29 a gallon. Is there a motion to accept the contract?
I'll make a motion to accept the contract with Midland. As presented.
Okay, is there a second?
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah. Hey, Pete, what's the status with the tipping of the tanks out there? You said that there's a couple tanks that are tipped over or tipped on the side.
Yeah, I'll talk to Midland now that we have a contract. What they would like us to do. They have to.
So they don't come over here to fill them and then find out they can't because of it.
They have in the past, but I'll talk to Chase, our guy in charge.
Okay.
If they have to be approved before we move them or what they want, they might have to extend to the line.
Yeah.
We're not just gonna go move them without.
Well, yeah, just as long as somebody's in charge to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's been approved. Next is approve a credit card for the new town administrator. I'm not positive. I think it was a $5,000 credit line that we had with Kukta. So is there a motion to approve a credit card for Max Imholt with a $5,000 credit limit?
I'll make a motion to approve the credit card for the town administrator, Max Emholt, for $5,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the cooperative agreement for between the town and the Harbor Commission with respect to the winter transportation arrangement. Is there a motion to approve?
Do you want, or do you pull that one, sir?
Oh, yeah, well, there's also a cooperative agreement with the school district, so we could probably do both of them as a single motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the contracts between the town of Point and the Harbor Commission and the town of Point and the school district.
I'll just point out there,
Transportation.
yeah, there is one minor typo on both, or I'm sorry, not on both. On the Harbor Commission one, the 2024 at the bottom with the expiration should be 2025.
And they changed the amount.
Yeah, they changed the amounts. Yeah, but that's on the revised.
I'll second Amy's motion with discussion.
Okay, seconded.
So they went down from 10,000 to 6,000 for the reason because we haven't had an ice road?
Mhm.
Okay.
So they have accumulated money that they don't feel like they need to get 10,000 per entity that they did in the past. They think 6,000 this time around should be
I'll have
fine.
an ice road. I'll get cold.
Well, they, even if they have an ice road, I mean, this assumes that they're gonna have an ice road. So with the 6,000 from each of the three, plus what they've got in the account, that should cover the cost of a full year's ice road. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have a winter transportation agreement between the town and Madeline Island Transportation, Windsleds, Inc. And you all have the contract before you. The rates have not changed. They will potentially be implementing a fuel surcharge this year. Is there a motion to accept the renewal agreement with Madeline Island Transportation for the winter transportation?
I will make a motion to approve the winter transportation agreement between the town of LaPointe and the Winslands Inc., Maryland Island Transportation is presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We next have the memorandum of understanding for ice rescue. And that's between the town of LaPointe, the LaPointe Volunteer Fire Department Ice Rescue Squad, and Winslet Transportation, Inc.
Make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Ice Rescue.
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, discussion of town mechanic doing work on fire trucks. We had, as part of the fire chief's report, he went into a great deal of detail about how they are currently maintaining. And I'm a little confused because I had thought that I had heard at our last meeting that Big Water was doing everything, including oil changes. And the fire chief's report seems to indicate that Brian Nelson has been doing things like oil changes.
He's
Well-
changed out
It
things,
says,
Yeah.
check all fluids and battery levels monthly.
but on small
Um,
engines,
Yeah,
not on trucks.
okay. So I guess the question is, and Pete, have you had a chance to talk at all with Rick?
Very briefly. I think that we should be big with Big Water. Maybe Max, Rick and I should get together and talk about it. We can talk about what he wants and what we're trying to do. He has to do is here.
Yeah,
Well, I agree with Rick as far as liability to the town, because those trucks have to roll at 3 a.m. You don't want to get into one of them and find out somebody didn't tighten the oil plug. Now, the guy from Big Water Apparatus, that says he's going to be responsible for that. And if something burns down, or if an ambulance doesn't run or something, we got somebody to fall back on. We say, hey, look, you're getting paid big money, professional money to do professional services, versus Brian Nelson doing the oil, changing the oil, whatever. He's not,
Or that area.
or Matt.
or Matt, what are we gonna
It is,
do?
it is a big liability, for sure.
It's a big liability.
There's a lot of specialized equipment on the vehicle for that. Steve knows what he's doing, clearly.
Well, he'll sit on a witness stand and testify that he's a professional.
Right.
And it also sounds like there needs to be a discussion with the mechanic if he's comfortable taking on,
That's a lot.
I mean, like, initially, he has to be willing to take on the liability
Yeah.
first.
I'm
And,
not sure that he would, but.
I'm right. I thought we weren't
Yeah.
talking about getting rid of Big Water.
No, we weren't.
That is just having them not do the oil change.
Yes,
The one thing
basically, yes.
that any mechanic would be.
Well, is there a motion to defer this to the town administrator, the public works director, and the?
I think
the fire
that
chief?
the mechanic,
I would say that because Max heard what we have to say about it, and that Pete and Rick and Max get together and come up with a solution.
Matt,
And
maybe.
this isn't hard, this isn't hard. It's just, just come up with a solution.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big issue.
No, it's not.
Everybody sit down and talk about it.
Okay, well, that's the discussion. We've had the discussion. So moving on, vouchers.
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers in the amount of $33,920.94.
second,
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, alternative claims.
I will make a motion to approve the alternative claims in the amount of $131,239.85.
second,
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, treasurer's report for October. I'll have that. And it does have numbers in all the right places.
All right.
Be good to go.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the October treasurer's report with a checking account balance of $1,359,979.49.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next minutes, we have special town board meeting on December 5th, the public hearing, the budget on December 5th also, and the regular town board meeting of December 10th. Their motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Three different.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from Thursday, December 5th, twice, and December 10th.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is emergency services. I don't think we have anything on that. Moving on, public comment B. Further public comment, Paul?
Big water trucking, whereas I was hoping, like I said, the last two meetings, that maintenance repairs are done in-house. In order to save a lot of money, even Red Elder mentioned that. I'm not asking a local person to verify the pump operation of a fire truck. But for crying out loud, if a starter or an alternator needs to be repaired or replaced, I think a local mechanic can do it, just like doing an oil change or changing a burned down taillight. If you really think there's a liability because a turn signal isn't working, okay. And for crying out loud, I would hope that someone has enough sense to tighten up drain plugs on an engine block that the oil will cool itself. That's why you start the truck up when you're done with doing whatever you're doing and check for leaks. You just don't turn it in and bam, there you go. I mean, taxpayers don't have a bottomless pit of money here. And I think the maintenance, the basic stuff, they can handle in-house. Otherwise, like I said, I'll do it for $149. You can save a whole dollar an hour.
Thank you, Paul. Any other?
There's a hand.
Oh, yes, Katie.
Hey, guys. Thanks for letting me add to the comments. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks. I was looking, it was brought to my attention, and I was looking over the agenda that the Affordable Housing Committee had a request of the town board, and it didn't make it into the agenda. So I'm going to put this on your radar. And if you need anything from the Affordable Housing for the next meeting, let me know. But it is basically that we would like to request that the town board give the committee a 3-year option or right of first refusal for the next 3 years to develop the Big Bay parcel between the ESB and the MRF. And we'd like to develop it for the housing.
Thank you, Katie. Can we get that on the
Thanks.
agenda, Paul?
Slightly different topic. When you're talking about husband and wife serving in the same committee or whatever. I mean, you could stretch that to say employer and employee. And granted, going back a ways here, but I remember when there was the big brouhaha about whether the town hall, fire hall should all move behind this place or it should be built elsewhere. I remember there was, I think it was, I'll say the name, Marty Meyer wanted it out there in the worst possible way. His wife, Joanne Higgins, wanted it here. Believe it or not, all these years later, they're still married. So, I mean, it's just because you're married or your employer or employee, you're good friends doesn't mean you have to agree or disagree with everything that comes before it. It's not an automatic yes.
Thank you, Paul. Any other public comment? Don?
Yeah, can I just request, I know this year was kind of a crappy year for the town, and stuff like that, employees and stuff, but maybe next year that we get the budget books for the public sooner than 1 minute before the meeting, because there's no way anybody can book through it to have any.
Thank you, John. That's a very good point. We were shorthanded this year. And last year we did have just a terrific budget book for everyone to look at, and it was well in advance. I do think we got everything out that was legally required in the time period it was, but I think, yeah, on our goals for next year will be to get a budget book out, 2 weeks or so before the meeting.
No, I understand. It's-
No, you're good point, John. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, anything on liquor licenses? Anything on lawsuits and legal? Don't believe we have any update on that yet. New agenda item for future meetings.
Elected official salary resolution, compensation resolution, credit card, for Murph interim supervisor, ESB contract, harbor budget, affordable housing appointment, affordable housing development, treasurer's report, and anything else we deferred at this meeting.
I don't recall that we had put the Murph supervisor credit card on.
That was an email from Evan.
Yeah, I think let's let the town administrator and the public works director
Okay.
work on that. I don't think the town board needs to get involved in that at this point. I'd also like to suggest that maybe there is going to be a public hearing on January 6th regarding the airport, Monday, January 6th. And I'd like to suggest that maybe we have, because we have deferred a lot of things tonight, it might be, and some of the things, I think, especially on the compensation front, we'd like to probably have nailed down before we have to process the first payroll 2025. So I'd like to suggest that we have a special town board meeting immediately following the public hearing on the airport on January 6th.
There is one to approve the resolution, so I can add things to that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, any other agenda items? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
You too. You too.
What's the temperature down there?
69.
It's pretty
It's not here.
cold.
I know, I'm loving it.
Here's Midland.
Have a good holiday, guys.
See you
Bye-bye.
later.